Welcome back, everyone, to episode 6 of the Cosme Reads. We've been doing this for 6 weeks, guys.
Hey, that's a long time.
Hey,
Really long time.
Yeah,
That's like a marking period.
Oh my
I
God.
know. It's
Longest I've ever done anything.
I don't want to know what the grade is. I just want to know.
Yeah,
we finished marking
exactly.
period. So yeah.
Yeah. Things are going well. You know, the podcast is growing a lot. Our following on Twitter has been growing pretty steadily. We have 333 followers. So 333.
What?
So,
Okay.
So yeah,
Love all y'all.
Yeah, so get in there. A couple people watching live tonight. We got, I guess, hi from Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, so love me some good old Rocky Top. I know, you know, that's the other part of the state, but
We were just talking about barbecue.
By the way,
we were talking about barbecue.
A special shout out. My Memphis, Tennessee connection there. That's my sister-in-law. Love you, Grovey. GP, aka Shorty.
I see the last name. Yeah.
Yep. So that's my sister-in-law.
Oh,
We talked on
nice.
the phone earlier today. So yeah, special shout out to her.
Awesome. Yeah. So good times. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Knoxville, so East Tennessee, but I've never made it out all the way to Memphis. One day.
Funny enough, I've never been to Memphis myself. My wife has been there numerous times, but they're from like Chattanooga, so I haven't been to Memphis
Okay.
though.
Yeah.
Gotta
Walking
do
10
that.
feet, 10 feet off a Beale, right? That's what the song says.
I'm gonna trust you.
Yeah. That's what it says. Beale's the street down there. I know that much. And I know it floods and it's really nasty, and that's why you walk off of it. That's all I know.
Okay.
Who does that song?
It's Walking in Memphis. I've never heard.
Walking in Memphis. I mean, but I don't know much about Memphis.
I don't know who originally did the song. Who else can look it up?
Numerous people have covered it. So
tons of covers. I've heard more covers.
Original.
Yeah, the original. I don't know who originally did it.
Mark Cohen.
Yeah, that's it. Mark Cohen. I knew it was someone that wasn't like anything. Yeah, that's right. Cool. Awesome. As far as personal life and stuff going on, we had a crazy weekend of traveling with the kids onto Virginia Beach, which is not that far. But we went to the aquarium because my son wanted to see sea creatures, so we did that, and he got to see lots of sea creatures, and was excited about touching stingrays. And then they went to sleep on the way home. So then we drove all over Hampton Roads. So it was a crap ton of fun, and I was tired and done with driving by the time I got up. But
by the way, I will admit right now to my niece and nephew, when they watch this episode years from now, because that's obviously what I assume everybody does, I made the mistake of assuming I could just drive up the Virginia Aquarium in Virginia Beach without an appointment.
Yep.
Got there and I was like, oh, it's appointment only.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead and see if I can schedule one right now. Nope, all appointments gone for the day. We literally drove all the way to Virginia Beach, all the way back home, and we saw no sea life.
Yeah, we called beforehand, but they were like, "Yeah, we're not busy right now. Just come on up." So we didn't make an appointment. And the only reason why we called beforehand is because we're members of the Norfolk Zoo, and they have reciprocity or whatever. So you get 50% off.
Right.
So, but you can't do that online. So you have to so I was trying to call them, like, what's the process? And they're like, well, you just go buy them online, then we'll refund you when you get here. And I was like, I had to do all that. And like, well, it's not busy right now. Just come here. I was like, all right, cool.
Nice.
We're on our way.
The only thing I did like about that, though, they have exactly 3 parking spots for electric vehicles, which I was able to use. So at least I didn't have to like walk across this large parking lot.
Yeah.
I got to use one of those like parking spots, but we did not get a chance to go inside.
So it took you less time to find out you couldn't go in.
Yes. Thank you for putting the dour note on that, Will.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And today's a big day as well. So, everyone chat, everybody sing happy birthday. I can't hear you, but it is Alondo's birthday.
No, don't sing it.
So happy birthday, Alondo.
Thank you, everybody.
He's 25 years old.
25. Yes. 25 again for the 23rd time. I'm 25. Yes.
Something like that.
Hold on. What's the 44? Is that like,
are
you actually 22 and you're multiplying it by 2, or
no? So this is actually, I have like jerseys for days. I love jerseys, and this is Lewis Hamilton, who is a F1 driver, and I'm a huge fan of him. If it says Hamilton on the back and the whole deal,
he's a big deal.
Yeah, he's a huge deal. He's the winningest F1 driver of all time, championship driver of all time.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I like it. You've been rocking jerseys, so
yeah, I do rock
it.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed your birthday and get to spend it with us. So
yeah, I was excited. Oh, and my wife, she's on the chat as well. I love it. That's my wife, Javon Perryman, by the way.
Yeah,
so thank you, sweetness.
We'll throw that up there. Yeah.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Good deal. And Will, you said you had a chill weekend?
Yeah, chill weekend. We had a busy weekend last weekend, so we didn't do much.
It works. Those are good.
Played some golf, and today stayed in my PJs all day.
Yeah.
Did some reading and played some Diablo 4. It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that just came out.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, what do you think, man?
Week 2, I love it. It's really good. I just
Awesome.
got into World Tier 3, so a lot of new shit just opened up, so it's even more addicting. It's really good.
Okay.
If you guys are Diablo fans, definitely check it out.
My
Let's check
son
it
is a
out.
huge Diablo fan, so we just been talking about it like ad nauseum every time I get an opportunity. And
It's good.
I don't play it, but I love hearing about it. So
Yeah, I've been playing No Man's Sky.
Oh, that's a
which
great game too.
It is. It's
Jeez.
fun. It's just there's no plot. I mean, I guess there's kind of plot, but it's more just a big sandbox and just fun
exploration,
exploring the entire universe
Mhm.
and traveling around. It's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been my thing I've been doing recently. My game. It's not probably as fun as Diablo. Not as action packed, definitely, but cool in its own right.
Is No Man's Sky like space exploration? Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
I think I've seen
that game when it came out. It promised a lot, but they eventually delivered on the promises. It just took time.
Yeah.
They got there.
Well,
though.
it's gigantic. Like apparently,
It's
like
huge.
Like
Yeah.
the size of the universe that you can explore is like the size of our galaxy. Like it's literally gigantic.
Wow.
Like
insane.
world
Yeah.
map. Like
On a similar note, the maps in Diablo are fucking huge for Diablo 4 too. Which
Oh,
is
really?
crazy.
Yeah,
Nice.
There's a lot to do, which
Cool.
some people think
Yeah.
is tedious. Some
No.
people think it's like, hey man, I can just spend more time. So
Yeah. Keep you
Well-
engaged for like years.
I
Well,
think
great.
Welcome
I-
to Gaming Reads, and tonight we're gonna
Yes.
get this out of here.
yeah. We don't need that book now.
That's right.
I don't even know where my book is. But anyway, it's right
Here
here.
you go.
No, there you go.
There you
Got
go.
it.
Hand it to him.
Thanks.
The magic of podcasts. That's how that works.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
Good times. So yeah, Diablo, that's fun. Let's get rid of these chapters. There's a lot to discuss tonight. There's a lot of fun stuff that happens. So where we left off last time on chapter 12, it ended with the end of Vin's first ball that she went to. She met the mysterious Ellen Venture, who likes to read books a lot, apparently like us. And Sazed was quite surprised, mortified, nervous, all the
mortified.
above.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mortified. He was like, you what? What'd you do?
Yeah, what'd you
This
do?
is bad. This is
Yeah,
bad.
This is bad.
And he's like, recount everything that you did and everything you said.
Mhm.
And then
Play
he
by
like
play.
completely downplayed their interaction.
Right.
He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's just toying with you to try to, play up, blah 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 blah." And it's like, okay, maybe he actually has some interest in this little lady.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, that's how this chapter begins with Sazed questioning Vin about everything that happened with Ellen. And wants to know all the deets. And Vin's forthcoming. Says I didn't really know much. We talked for like 5 seconds. And he just seemed like a normal dude. But yeah. But she also reflects on, the fact that while she was talking to Ellen, I guess she felt like her true personality came out, like not the personality of Lady Lynette, not the personality of the timid crew member that's beaten down all the time, but like her real self. So
much so that she was wondering if she was like under some allomancy spell.
Right.
And I even wrote down as a note, I was like, Vin was under that swoon allomancy. She was like swooning kind of. And she was like, did he like do something? And of course, it comes back, says it's like, no, if he had powers, he would have used them when he was attacked in a a brawl he had a while ago. Yeah. And he didn't do anything. So yeah.
Was it Lord Renault who like immediately jumps in afterwards and he's like, yeah, he probably doesn't even like you. He was just putting on a facade to get a leg up in the noble hierarchy.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out like what exactly he's doing in the whole picture, but
Renault?
At this point, like he chimes in every once in a while, but like apparently he was a pretty pivotal part of the plan when they were planning everything out. But
my man has been in place as the doppelganger 4 years. He's been doing this 4 years,
right? Because real Renault's dead. Yeah, the real Lord Renew is dead.
That's insane. I mean, to hold it up for 4 years and not at some point in time like mess up, misstep, something, somebody like, oh, no, you got the wrong nasal hairs or something like that. He's like, no. He's keeping it like completely legit. 4 years, no misstep. I'm impressed. So good for him.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I just felt like in that scene, he was like trying to steer Vin away from Lord Venture, right? Like, don't get in there, like almost as if he's like on someone else's side who's in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And during all this, Vindon feigns fatigue. She's like, I'm tired. I need to go to bed. But she's not really tired. She's just doing this to then put her in a mist cloak and follow.
Fade people out position. That's what that's called. That's
I'm tired. Yeah. And she goes to try to follow Kelsier because Kelsier leaves as well. She knows this. And when she goes out, he's gone. And he's like, well, he said he was going to go back to Luthadel. Like, there's no carriage. Like, how to get here? And as she's walking towards there, she discovers a metal pin in the ground. Like, and she's like, huh, this is interesting. And then she walks a little further and sees another one. She's like, and then she goes to the sides and realizes there's ones on the sides. She's like, that's how he does it. Like, he flies between Lord Renew's manor and Luthadel back and forth above everyone else, just through the air using the metal.
I had images of like Mario at this point. Just
nice Mario.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like an epic video game too. Like where you have to like control like to stay in the line as you're like flying through the air. And every video game has those like
because it has the correction spots to keep you like on the line and everything.
Exactly.
So I had 2 comments about this. One was literally the same moment that Vin said it. I literally thought the word Kelsier is being very nonchalant about a lot of his planning and stuff. And literally in the same time I'm like listening to the audiobook, she says the word, he's being very nonchalant about all this. And I was like, oh shoot, are you in my head? and my second thoughts were they said the words like Bronze Highway. That's the name of my next jam band when I put it together. It's Bronze Highway all day long.
Yeah. So I love this. Like Dana Leo Arzul said this, but it's true. Like this use of magic, it's just a fun way of using. Of really like
it's
exploring
so
all the different possibilities and what you can do. Like how about we make a highway that we can just jump from place to place?
It's perfect, and it's like hidden. Sense. The average person would never notice. It's just like sitting there, just like like ingrained. Just somebody just stuck in the ground. And it's like, if you know, you know.
Right.
Find the next blue line.
Right.
Jumping.
I mean, you can do it even more nonchalantly and just put coins down. The only thing with coins, people might pick them up, but stakes in the ground or something like that. But
it's brilliant though.
It can be done just by throwing a line of coins and
like
Hansel and Gretel. You leave your little breadcrumbs with your metal chippings, and you can fly back to wherever you want to be. Pretty clever.
Very clever. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Kelsier does lose Vin in the trip. So Vin decides just to head towards, the Venture, Keep Venture, just to check in, see what's there. And as she gets there and kind of lands and is looking over, she looks over and sees Kelsier there. And she's like, I'm going to sneak up on him. But before she can even do that, he grabs her from behind. It's like, what are you doing here?
So now I'm gonna. If I don't know if you guys have ever watched the YouTube videos, Everything Wrong With, and like break down like the wrong things about a movie, where it's like, oh well, there's this thing that could have happened or whatever. The whole time that she's following him, she has already followed him a couple times. Now.
Yeah, it's not the first time she's done this.
Why didn't he burn copper to make sure she didn't try to follow him again? Unless he really wanted her to follow him, whether it was a conscious or subconscious decision.
Yeah,
I'm like, I think he really wanted her to follow him, even if it wasn't a conscious decision. That's my thoughts on that.
Because he kind of pushes over real fast. He's kind of like that. You're like, you got me.
It's like, I didn't want you to be here, but you're here. So,
and he goes right into like his plans on what he's trying to do. He's like, I'm looking here, but this is not my stop for tonight. And she's like, what are you doing? He's like, we're gonna pay the Lord Ruler a visit. Well, hopefully not him, but we're gonna break into his palace. And she's like, what? Like, this is insane. And she's like, I'm coming with you. She's like, he's like, no, you're not. Like, that's way too dangerous. She's like, listen, you can't just keep me on the sidelines forever. Like, I'm here, and if you leave, I'm just gonna follow. So you might as well.
You keep talking about how it's an advantage that we have 2 Mistborns, but then you have your second Mistborn, and you're gonna try and do this on your own. Yeah. The whole thing, again, I keep coming back to Kelsier's so cavalier all the time. I'm like, he just takes crazy risks. I'm like, do you have to? I mean, at least tell somebody you're going to be there. So it's like, somebody's like, okay, well, I'm about to go out here and do this mission. I assume he trusts somebody, and he could have said, hey, I'm going to go out and do this mission. If things go belly up, look out for me if I'm not back by blah, blah, blah time or something. The whole thing. I'm like, Kelsier, you do not plan well on these situations, which I don't have to say anymore because we're about to find out the next couple chapters how terrible its planning is.
Yeah. So then we learn about one of the coolest medals in the entire book. So Kelsier's like, well, if you're gonna come with me, we gotta learn about this other medal, the 10th medal, ATM.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, well, this is one of the secret medals you can keep from me. So what does it do? And he's like, here you go. Here's some. And hands him like a little bead. It's like she describes it as a little silvery metal ball that's reflective by bright light and seemed like a drop of liquid, but solid to the touch. So that's how she describes it.
Right.
And she eats the bead, and all of a sudden, Kelsier moves, but not him. Like a shadow of him, pretty much.
It's like a projection of him, like in moves. Front of him, right?
Like to slap her, and she like moves out of the way, and then his hand comes, and he's like, "Yep, that's how this works." So you see the future, and see everything that's about to happen. So basically, if no one else is burning ATM as well, you're pretty much invincible because you know what everyone's doing. You can put a dagger exactly where someone's about to be, and just let go, and they're gonna run right into the dagger, and
and vice versa. If they pull a dagger, you know exactly where their dagger is going to be, and you can move away from it and be like, you missed me, bitch. So, hey, that's a win-win all around.
I thought it was interesting because they say, like, not only can you see what they're going to do, but it also enhances your mind to be able to react to that as well.
Yeah, you have
I could see what someone's going to do, but my mind, I wouldn't be able to react close enough. I'd be like, oh, they're going to stab me. I got stabbed.
You're watching a nice plunge in.
That was critical for me.
Yeah, it enhances your mind as well. So exactly. Pretty cool. And then as she's doing, he shows the other part of it. He's like, well, if someone else burns it as well, you get to see what happens then. And like a million Kelsiers start going every direction. And she's like, what's happening? He's like, I'm burning it too. So my shadow is now reacting to your shadow. It's like a mirror reflection. You have two mirrors looking at each other, and they're going on infinitely. Shadows. So every shadow's reacting to the other shadow. So you start getting every possibility. Yeah, permutations, and it gets really confusing. It's like basically the only way to defeat someone with ATM is burn ATM yourself.
Right.
It's the only defense. But then it levels out the playing field again. But then it also confuses everybody gets confused when everybody's burning ATM because there's just so much mayhem.
All I thought about was Matrix. What's the second Matrix? Reloaded.
Yeah.
And the Architect, when they have like the whole screens, and it's like a bunch of different versions of Neo, and he's like like whole amalgam of possible realities. That's all I thought about when this scene came up. I'll be making numerous Matrix references. Yeah.
It's pretty cool though. I mean, what do you think? I guess some implications of ATM. I mean, what do you think are some of the ways that, we talked to the basic ways it could be used, but like some cool things that came to your mind, and anything pop up right away, or anything you guys like start going down rabbit holes with it, or we see it used a couple times later, but yeah.
Mine was like, if you burn a shit ton of it, what happens? Like, if
you flare it,
how far ahead can you see?
If you flare it, like you flare other metals,
that's
it doesn't seem, because it doesn't last very long.
It burns fast. Yeah,
I felt like it lasted maybe a minute, 2 minutes at tops.
It's super rare, super expensive. So
right.
You don't want to be doing that if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Right.
But the whole idea of these permutations things, I feel like if you run into somebody that's also burning it, the only purpose of burning it is not to actually win the situation, but to confuse your opponent. That's it. No
Or to make
more.
them burn it faster so they wear out before you do.
Oh, right. Yeah,
That's what
that's
he
a good
said.
point.
So
Yes.
that's how you're gonna win. is
Yeah,
you
right. Because they're
make
gonna
sure
burn it
he-
faster.
yeah.
Yep. That's a
that
good
you
point.
have more than him, and that, in reserve.
Right. If there's burns
and
out first, now
Right.
at the end, you will be the only person with
One.
the advantage.
Right.
Yeah. So crazy.
becomes a crazy chess game at that point.
And
While
that's
fighting.
all I thought about the whole time. I was like, this is chess. Where you're doing all the variations, blah blah blah. What's the best attack strategy? What do you expect? And what do you think is the most likely scenario they will execute?
Mhm.
Yeah, this is definitely chess. This is chess versus checkers right now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And we end this chapter with them heading out to Critic Shaw, to go visit the Lord Ruler's place, because Kelsier wants to figure out what's in that room, what's in the box.
I know this guy, his curiosity.
He already failed once.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I called Adium. Yeah, thank you. That's all I could think about the whole time.
Alex.
I was trying to find the gift.
You're like, where's the gift?
Where's the
Yeah. Atium, aka the foreshadow medal. That's all I kept calling it the whole time I was reading. I was like, oh, the foreshadow medal. I get you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's he's like, what's in the box? And I'm like, oh, dude, you are so driven by this need to know. And we know what happens to the cat when it comes to curiosity. So I was expecting, I was like, this is when the Alondo prediction comes to pass.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Kelsey's gonna get killed. I was like, I'm literally reading this. I'm like, he's about to go down. He's about to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars with Darth Vader. He's gonna get struck down, the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yep. Yeah. So, any thoughts about this chapter before we move on to getting actually?
I like Zul's comment.
Yeah.
Is Kelsey or a cat?
Cat. Will curiosity actually kill him?
Maybe
9 lives.
We all know how I feel about it, so I'm not gonna say anything else. I mean, I've already said I think his number's up. He's too cavalier. He's too nonchalant at times. He should be more serious about some stuff, and this curiosity thing is killing him. And I'm like, dude, let it go. You're trying to put together a rebellion. Think about the greater good. And he's not even involving the people that are around him. And it's, I mean, maybe there's some trust issues. I get that. But yet and still, you trusted them enough to be in a room, before the Steel Inquisitors came, talking about some very serious ish.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to just run off and oh, I'm going to go ahead and just go to the Lord Ruler spot. I'll be back. Maybe if you guys want something else, I'll bring you some bread and stuff on my way. No, you don't do that. So I'm a little mad at the dude personally at this point in time, especially about what's about to come up. I'm like, you're just being way too cavalier,
way too reckless.
Please,
yeah.
It's almost annoying because it's like, fool me once, fool me twice, but now he just keeps getting fooled.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelsier is our favorite psychopath. I mean, he's sociopath. It's all about him.
Sociopath all day long. Absolutely. No question. Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's get right into chapter 14. Kelsier leads Vin to Critic Shaw. And they have some guards at the gate, but that doesn't really bother them. So they just take them out in 2 seconds. They're just like, yep, that's
boom, boom, easy.
Easy. Everyone's on the floor.
Good. Yeah, everyone's on the floor. Then step in. This one does kind of raise the alarm a little bit. I think one does get a shot out, and they do some crazy fun fight scenes and take all of them out too.
And Vin is got that whole thing where she's having regrets. She's like, I just killed people. Right. Because again, she has not been killing people up until now.
Yeah.
And she had that moment of oh my God, I just killed was it 4 people?
Yeah.
She threw the coins and she killed people. And she's like, I mean, it's murder. I mean, I don't care what they did, whatever else. It's still murder. And the idea of killing, and they're ska. These aren't guards, Yeah, they're not aristocracy. These are Ska. They happen to be working for aristocracy. But they're still like technically her people.
Right.
Maybe that's I just had like a thought. Maybe this is way far off, but Kelser's been throwing coins at people from 40 yards out, killing them for a long time. But that's the first time that Vin has done it, and she feels that first bit of like, ooh. But it's almost like inhuman because it's so easy for them as Allomancers.
Yeah.
Maybe that stuff catches up to you later, which causes you to be this sociopathic, like, I'll just go in there again and wipe everybody out.
Yeah. That's a good perspective I didn't even think about.
That just came to me, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was worth mentioning.
No, I think it's great point. Great point.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And they're trying to make it to this one hut that they said the road ruler visits for 3 hours every 3 days, because Kelsier was able to earlier figure out that he's like on a schedule. He comes like regularly to this one place, and he can never get into this room.
Yeah,
and that's where they're trying to figure out what's in this room. But also, as they're making their way through, Vin's burning copper, and she shouldn't be able to feel any effects, but she knows that the Lord Ruler's soothing still making it through the copper cloud. Like, that's how powerful he is, and it should be warning number one. If it's powerful enough that you're burning copper and you're still feeling the effects of allomancy, like
red flag.
Yeah. Right. And it's also a depression though, too.
Yeah.
Remember, it's also a depression. So it's like,
right.
And think about someone being affected by depression, just like in real life, how much it has an impact on your daily activities or your ability to execute at your best. So it automatically brings what might be like, if your skill level's here and now you're depressed, even if it's just a minor bump in your abilities, that's enough to put you at a disadvantage when you come against your adversary, right? So the fact that she kept saying that depression was still there the whole time, she couldn't get rid of it even when she burned copper. I mean, that says a lot. So
interesting.
Yeah. So after making it through all these guards, they get to the inner room, and
nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
I love it. I love it.
I feel like you've been waiting to do that for so long.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It is 3 of them too, by the way.
It's 3
not
of them.
one, not 2, but 3 still Inquisitors.
Yeah,
that's how the movie, right? Like that had to be from the movie.
Yeah,
it's exactly
our Monty Pythons, but yes, yeah.
Either way it goes, man. The Monty Python joint, though, man, brilliant. Chef's kiss on that one. Chef's kiss on you on Alan for that one.
Oh yeah. So yeah, there's 3 still Inquisitors there. So it's pretty crazy. Pretty much, you're dead now. Gigs up, and they go right into fighting, which is, and Kelsier immediately just gets like caught by one, like choke.
He's like got him by the throat,
got my throat, and it's like and he's just kind of telling Vin, run, like don't stay here and try to help me, like get out.
There's 3.
Get out.
And first he's being choked, and he's like, because he can't understand what he's saying because he's being choked. And then when he finally kind of like gets like enough breath, he's like, run. And like,
oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing that. I mean, she tries to like throw coins at them, or I guess a little, and it stops in midair and pushes them both back. And she realizes this is not going to work, like, because they can use allomancy too, and they do, and they've been trained really well too. And so she does start to run. She goes down the hallway and realizes the entire hallway now full of guards, and does some crazy Matrix type skill. She burns ATM and just
nice, because that's all I thought the whole time.
Like dodging bullets, like
she's
spears.
Dagger. What?
Like jumping, rolling over spears that are not there yet, and just dodging everything down the hall.
Yes.
Have we gotten to what she used to protect herself yet?
The book?
The book? Well, we get there. So we get there. But before that, it's just like the Matrix 2, like where you're dodging not quite fast enough because one of the Inquisitors did get her with one of his axes.
I think when I was reading, I was still trying to figure out why the fuck there were 3 Inquisitors there at this like.
They were waiting for them.
Yeah,
they were ready to go.
They're like, oh,
what are they?
Finally, you're here.
Now one is over there beating Kelsier's ass, we assume, right? Now, and by the way, Vin is the whole time like, oh, he's dead. She's like thinking the whole time. She's like, oh well,
she's
probably
in like shock.
She's like, he's done. So now she's got the two. It's like coming after her and guards, by the way. So she's like, the novice.
Right.
Poor thing. I mean, the novice in the whole situation.
And they're excited to see her. They're like, oh, we thought it was just be Chelsea, but you too? Oh, this is a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
We've been looking for you.
We've been looking for you.
Yeah. So, of course, they go after her as well. And this is where she runs into a room, grabs a leather book, and right as they throw all the metal things at it, she pulls all the metal towards her and pulls the book up so it, all hits the book and peppers
perfectly.
It. Right. Yeah, perfectly. And it confuses the Inquisitor too. And then the Inquisitor realizes she's burned ATM. So then all of a sudden the Inquisitor breaks into a million, Inquisitors because he starts burning ATM and she's like, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it does get the obsidian blade on the side.
But for her being a novice, it's like, go ahead and throw her into the fire and let her figure it out. If you want to throw somebody into the fire, like what better of a fire when there's 3 Inquisitors and, a bunch of guards, like you're either going to sink or swim.
Yeah. But 3 Inquisitors can take out 1,000 soldiers. 3,000 soldiers because each can take out 1,000 soldiers.
Yep.
And by the way, I love this chapter so much because we've heard so much about what they can do. We've obviously seen the aftermath of what they can do with the bloody drama that occurred before. Now we're seeing it played out, and we're just seeing how incredibly gifted these guys are.
Yeah.
By the way, they're referred to as creatures, not guys, not people, specifically creatures.
They have spikes in their eyes.
they're referred to as human anymore. And I was like, I picked up on that multiple times. I was like, they said creature. And then I wrote it down. I was like, why do you say creature? And then again, later on, it says creature again. You are treated as like some otherworldly, non-human entity that you should be just like crazy scared of.
Right.
Great chapter, great writing all around because it really just elevated how much fear you should have for these guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So Zul had a question in chat. How did they know to ambush in there? I mean, you guys.
So I mean, of course, the two possibilities are either A, they've been betrayed, which is what Kel thinks happened the last time he went there. What you got, Will? Will go.
Well, so these guys protect the pits of Hathson, right? Which is where all the ATM comes from. Maybe they can just see really far out in the future, and they knew it was going to happen because of that.
Yeah, they're flaring their ATM.
Yeah, they're just flaring the shit out of it. I don't know.
It's possible. Yeah.
Sorry, you had another one though.
I mean, I was gonna say either,
that's how it happens with me. It's like boom.
No, which is reason I'm like, let's dig into that because that's more important.
I appreciate you.
No, all day, every day.
Yeah.
So either A, it's like they're just always there, and they're like ready for anything to go down, or B, they got betrayed.
They're betrayed. Yeah.
Now personally, I'm thinking to myself, this is like the Lord Ruler's like, let's just say his money stash, and it's like, yeah, of course it's going to be like heavily guarded. This ain't Kelsier breaking into like, some other lord's like stash of stuff, which he's like gone into and blah, 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 and like stole the chest of goodies. No.
But do you remember what was in the chest he stole in the very beginning?
ATM.
Oh,
yeah, it was ATM. Yeah, it was like a little bit of ATM. It was like it was their allocation of ATM essentially.
Right. But we didn't know what the ATM was or what it did.
Well, that's true.
We just knew that he was trying to steal it. Yep.
Yeah, but he's coming at the Lord Ruler. And by the way, I'm kind of mad at Kelsier for this. He's coming at the Lord Ruler again the same way he came at him before. What? I mean, this is how you got someone killed before coming at the Lord Ruler. You didn't change up your like approach. You didn't like, oh, well, let me do something different. Let me try to, be a little bit more subversive, or He just like, oh, I'm gonna go in here and brute force my way. No.
Yeah.
So again, he's too nonchalant.
His
He's
ego gets the better
cavalier.
of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think maybe Kelsier's just after like ATM stashes, and this is the Lord Ruler's one of the Lord Ruler's.
He doesn't know what's in
ATM
there.
stashes.
He wants to
doesn't
know
know what's in there. He's thinking that there's going to be something in
Right.
there that will help them deal with the Lord
and how to defeat
Ruler's
him.
immortality.
Either they knew they were coming because they got betrayed, or they were just
Who
there.
knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But they were almost expecting them. Like it wasn't like they.
We're like, oh, glad you're here.
Glad you're
Yeah,
here.
they have to like raise an
Have
alarm.
some tea.
Yeah.
It's like somebody was like, "Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelsier's here." It was like, no,
We've
we already
been
ready for
waiting.
you.
What do you think about what the Inquisitor was talking with Vin about? Like, saying like, "Hey,
Who's your dad?"
who's your dad? I want to know who's your daddy and what does he do?"
Well, like
Mhm.
they didn't try to kill her. And I thought that stood out to me. Is like he didn't grab her by the throat or anything.
Right.
It was like, who's your father? Because we need to take him out first and foremost. Because we don't want more of you.
Right.
Yeah.
That was all I thought, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so they're going to. I think the only reason Vin even survives is because they weren't trying to kill her. They were trying to get information.
Oh,
Why-
they definitely weren't.
Yeah,
They
that was
definitely were
kinda
not. Well, up until a point. I mean, because they said that the wound that she got, she thought it, and of course it comes up later, that wound that was inflicted on her, numerous other references come back to say that that's a killing wound.
Right. It was deep. I mean, she even mentioned
was a
like,
deep
she looked
wound.
down and how much blood she had lost, and she was like,
it's
like
like
an
right
axe.
to
She
her
got
eye.
hit by
It's
an
like,
axe, right?
"Yeah, it was an axe, obsidian
yeah, it
axe."
was an axe. Yeah.
So it probably broke bone too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, it probably broke bone.
Because
And
it's like
so
a blunt.
I mean, luckily, pewter, help.
Yeah. I mean, she was burning pewter just to stay conscious and
Just
get
to
out
stay
of there.
conscious. Yeah.
But yeah, obsidian is sharp anyway. I mean, obsidian is a volcanic glass, so it's super strong, super sharp. They make jewelry out of obsidian. I mean, it's a real thing. It's not just made up for this book.
No, it's used in a lot of like
Thanks,
fantasy novels and stuff. I mean, it's
this is strong and sharp.
Yeah. Yep.
I have a piece of obsidian around here somewhere. Shit,
Somewhere,
it's not
yeah.
here.
Nice.
I think actually they say even Game of Thrones they talk was it the dragon glass is obsidian that they used to defeat the White Walkers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is the
obsidian.
same thing, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
obsidian.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway,
All right, I gotta research obsidian. God damn it.
gotta boost
Go
up my
deep diving.
supply at home.
It looks cool. I have a little rock, and it's got
Yeah.
like little white specks in it. Look like
Yeah.
snowflakes.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Yeah. So Vin does manage to escape by throwing herself out of a window pretty much, and then grabs a hold of one of the spires and pulls herself up. But the Inquisitor's right behind her. Like and he started cat and mouse game of her jumping from spire to spire, trying to get away. And she tries to pull the same trick that she pulled on, or Kelsier pulled on her, where she throws her coin pouch one way, then jumps the other way, hoping that and she thinks she got it away. And she that's when she takes a moment to realize and assess her injury. And she reaches down and realize how much blood she's losing and realize this is a killing wound. Like people don't live from this. Like
No,
it's
not
deep
typically.
and bad.
And all I thought was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. The whole jumping between spires reminded me of the jumping between trees and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah,
they're just floating among up above, and doing the whole fighting thing and everything. It's like, yeah, that's what's up. So
it's like you can't see anything else but like flashing lights from shit moving, and you're going higher and higher, back and forth in the bamboo trees.
Oh, here's a good. I missed this. Sorry, I'm not reading chat tonight that much. But who do you think betrayed? If Kels was betrayed, who knew Kel was there in order to betray them?
Yeah.
So young boy, I cannot remember his name.
Look, I know his nickname that they give later. Lusterbomb.
It's definitely L. You're on the right path. I cannot remember his
the
name.
one that speaks like the native tongue.
Yeah, that guy.
He's always a
I
club
can't remember
shop.
the name. Anyway, but that's who I'm.
Bonus or something. Yeah, something like that.
Anyway,
Lester
You call him
Bonus. Lester Bonus or something.
Look, I'm still.
Sounds good.
Jury's out. Sorry, not jury's out, but I got my suspicions about my man's. I think
that's interesting, dude. I wouldn't even thought of him. Holy shit!
But I mean, he came in kind of late to the party.
He's Club's nephew, though. He's your boy's nephew.
Don't make a difference. Nah, sorry. I
got-
mean, what have you done for me lately? Other than tell me like when I'm getting jumping ahead, but you tell me like when people show up and stuff like that. I'm like, you kind of suspect. So
Lester Bornes. There you go.
thank you. I appreciate you putting that up, Lester Burns. Yeah, you see how I said that, Lester Burns.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. I
Like a
think,
Simpsons character. Monty Burns, his brother.
Yeah.
I don't have any guesses. I think Londo. He just blew my mind, and Alan's nodding like. So I'm just gonna say, yeah.
Oh, I misdirect all the time. I nod because you're completely wrong.
Don't
you're right.
Do not look to Alan.
All right, then I'm gonna say
no giveaway clues.
I'm gonna say Dachshund.
Docs.
Doxson.
Oh, Docs.
Dachshund. Oh wow, that's a bold move.
That's
okay.
a bold,
Yeah.
Kelsey's boy. Okay.
I have a reason for that, but
Okay.
I can't say it yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
Sure. So yeah.
Zool said sure.
It's a thing.
Oh, nice.
I say sure to everything. Whenever like on my other podcasts, so it's sure.
There you go.
Yeah, we
not the first time.
yeah. I mean, we even have a ton of gifts for the sure's. So it's we have sure and
Hey,
sure and
like, good quotes. Okay.
I'll take that
lots,
as I'm right.
and even
Oh yes.
tons of gifts for sure.
I love that. Oh my god. Any Brooklyn Nine-Nine gifts, I'm all about. Every day, all the time. Yes.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
By the
finally,
way, if there's ever a time to use a Captain Holt gift, use it all the time. I love Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine all day long. So anyway.
all right.
Side journey over. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. So at this point, Vin thinks she's gotten away. She's like in the process of losing consciousness, and the Inquisitor finds her. And at this point, she's fading out, and the Inquisitor is coming towards her, and this is game over. Like she thinks this is it, and she notices something distracts the Inquisitor, and then something grabs her that's not the Inquisitor, and everything. And it wasn't Kelsier, and it fades to black.
Yeah.
Something large.
And large person or large entity.
Yes.
It said they had like a warm, welcoming face or something like that too. So she thought it was Kelsey.
And she was relieved whatever it was, she was relieved about
it.
Had
like that warm embrace. Yep.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know. Like, I was like, I don't know who that could be, but it's not.
I thought for sure it was Santa Claus. Large entity, picking her up,
Was it not? I didn't read anymore after that.
And you were like, done.
I put the book down. It's like, she's dead. Fuck.
Yeah, she's dead. Vin died already.
By the way, speaking of dead, of course, my theory has been that Kelsier is going to get killed. I have said this numerous instances on this podcast. I really thought for sure Kelsier's Obi-Wan Kenobi in this joint. He is done. He went in Cavalier style. Like, he went up against whatever. He's like neck grip. There's no way. There ain't no way. Like, I'm going to quote like Patton Oswalt. We're talking about Dukes of Hazzard. There's no way he's getting out his bucket of syrup. So I was like, oh, this is done. He's Dunsky. He's getting cut down. Yeah. And I was like, if they come back and like, nope, Kelsier's done.
At the end of this chapter, it looked like both Vin and Kelsier were done. I mean, yeah, Vin.
I thought for sure Vin was going to be okay. I was like, I don't know
they were
how.
alive.
I was like, Vin's going to be okay.
Did you read the last chapter?
Kelsier's going to be okay.
No, my brain's still hurting from Pythos Cheetah's comment. Trying to comprehend that.
This one, that was it was the Lester Bornes talking.
I know, but
it wasn't one of the lefting wanting to know the Inquisitor for being knowing, for having no.
That was really well played.
Yeah, very nice. Street slang of you.
Thank you.
And can you teach me that language sometime?
Yeah. I can't speak it well. Some people.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking the Pythos.
Pythos probably can. He could probably speak it fluently. I cannot.
Nice.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Years of training.
Yeah, so this was a really fun chapter. I mean, I was excited that you guys get to this one. So,
Are that was a full-on battle.
Oh yeah,
We'll call it that, a mini battle, but it was like a bunch of really powerful people.
Yeah.
This isn't going against like the freaking like hierarchy like up in their towers and blah blah blah. This is like that battle for real, and we finally get to see these Steel Inquisitors do what these dudes can do.
They're just out for blood, dude.
And that's like one of the big arguments in the fandom is like if they ever did adapt this to screen, whether it's TV show or movie, like doing live action with this, how tough this would be for a CGI budget, like to do it justice and to do it right versus like an anime where you can just have fun with this.
Anime. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You can just have so much fun with it.
I would love to see this in anime all day long
with the Steel Inquisitors and everything. Because you could like just over exaggerate everything.
Go
And, like,
nuts.
Oh my god, yes.
Versus the live action, you can still do it. It's the CGI budget would just be through the roof.
But you did it right, yeah.
But the movement, though, I mean, and I appreciate, like, for example, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the idea of, like, flying and, across, like, buildings and stuff. And it set a new bar for doing that live action.
Our Matrix.
There's something about doing
Would it be cheaper to get
Keanu
Reeves to play Ven?
I just want to see Keanu Reeves as Vin just go, wow.
Whoa. That was me when I read Pythos.
Can you imagine doing the motion capture for this? Yeah, it'd be quite insane. A lot of stunt work, a lot of just like slowing down like crazy camera angle panning and just like just a lot of work and very expensive shooting to do this, to do it justice. Right. So big budgets,
green suits, Green Man suits,
yeah, lots of cables, lots of stuff,
green balls.
Practical effects are always better than CGI, but at the same time, like some of the things like of course, the steel eyes, you can't do that. Well, man, might be able to do it practically. I don't know, that'd be tough.
I mean, that wouldn't be too hard. I mean, basically, just put like some obstructions over the eyes, and then
have slits
steel
whatever, so you can
coming out the back. Yeah,
you can still do it practically. Owen Wilson is Kelsier. Wow.
Nah, he's not gruff enough. I feel like it's got to be something a little gruffer than Owen Wilson. I don't know who. Give me a second.
I don't know who.
Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage,
young Nick Cage,
with that. I mean, I think give Nick Cage 6 months to like get like the beefy, because he can do that. He can change his body physique. I can see. And he's just crazy and cavalier enough you'd believe he would just be like, I'm gonna run off in the night right now and just go like take on the Lord rule. Yeah, I could see that.
Christian Bale.
Not the bees. Yeah, that Nick Cage. Yeah,
Christian Bale could do it. He's played like every part in the entire world.
Who?
Christian Bale.
Oh, Christian Bale.
You want to talk about body transformation? Yeah, that guy.
Good God, that dude is mechanic.
Done everything.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was hard.
Waldo's actually get a little throat face about that, I guess.
Sorry. Yeah, that's rough. It's rough. The mechanic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it took me 3 reads in the trilogy to realize that Kelsier's blonde. Yeah. No. Hair dye works. That does not stop any actor from playing Kelsier.
Yeah, everybody goes blonde at some point in time. BJ Novak in The Office, blonde tips.
There you go.
Yeah,
it happens. Yeah. So you guys ready for chapter 15?
Yes.
The final chapter of part 2.
Yeah, a short chapter, by the way.
Short chapter, but yeah, it just kind of sums everything up. Kelsier, they're back at the shop, and Kelsier's come back, and the whole crew's there.
Really hold on, Kelsier's come back. I was like, okay, so he's alive,
right?
Yeah. And he explains himself, later in the chapter or whatever, kind of, sort of.
It's the equivalent of like the Emperor coming back in like the last Skywalker movie. It's like somehow Emperor Palpatine is back. Somehow Kelsier is back.
Escaped the Steel Inquisitor.
Yeah, I was like, he was in the death grip.
I mean, did he throw like a dagger through the neck and Damien Faze is still
didn't phase nothing? Whatever. I mean, I was like, this dude's dead. Come on. So
Yeah, it reminds me of when he stabs him, and going back to that, and he stabs him in the neck, and he just pulls it out. It reminds me of like what's the movie? Hellboy with the sand guy.
I've never seen Hellboy.
Okay, and Hellboy, yeah, there's this character that's made like inside he's like sand. So like they stab him. It looks like a regular person, but it's like a mechanical thing, and he stabs him, and he doesn't even phase him at all. Just going. So anyway, so the crew argues with Kelsier about the decision to take Vin to Critic Shaw. They're really upset with Kelsier, like super upset. Like, what were you thinking? Like, she's obviously dead now, and Kelsier still has hope. Like, he's like, oh, she might still have made it out, and he's like, Kelsier, why? Why would you do something? It's like she would have gone anyway. Like, there's nothing. Why'd you go? Like, what were you thinking? Like,
thank you. Why did you go in the first place? This guy.
Yeah.
Cavalier Kelsier. Anyway.
Yeah, and they're thinking about going out and looking for her, and they're debating on doing that. When all of a sudden someone's at the door, and it says it.
Yeah, which
Jared Vin.
And I think Lester Bourne is the one that announces it, right? That says like somebody like in a cloak or whatever is
right. They think it's still Inquisitor at first, and they all get ready to fight.
Right,
and then it says it coming through.
And he's like, "Oh well, somebody's coming in. They're like carrying somebody wrapped up in stuff."
Yeah.
Anyway,
they all armed up, ready for battle, and then it was Sazed with
now,
baby.
Just to back up just a little bit, they were talking about, it's really obvious why Kelsier should not go out, and why his right hand man, I got
Doxson.
Thank you, Doxson. Why they shouldn't go out is because it would be obvious if they were to go back to try to look. And I was like, is it that obvious? I mean, is it because they assumed that everyone was ready for Kelsier to show up that night?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was kind of glossed over a little bit on that piece.
Yeah.
But it seems like, they all know why he shouldn't go out trying to look for her. And that's the reason why they were like, oh, well, we're going to just stay here.
Well, if
we'll send all y'all out.
If she was captured, I mean, obviously they'd be looking for Kelsier. Like, they recognize him from a mile away, him coming.
I guess, I mean, if she was captured, but
they know Kelsier. So, I mean, I guess maybe that's it. I mean,
yeah. So they're looking for him just in general.
Yeah.
I get that. Again, it just seemed like a little weird because it seemed like everybody already, knew that. And by the way, how many apprentices does Clubs have?
A million.
Okay. Because Clubs, again, I'm a Clubs fan. Clubs is like got like apprentices on apprentices on apprentices for days or something. And he's like, he just turns to his apprentices like, hey, you, my squad of peoples, go out and do the things.
Go and find out. Yeah.
Like
I said, so says and says it comes back, as Will said, with Vin in hand, and lays her down, feeds her pewter, and is happy to announce that that she's burning it naturally.
Unconsciously.
Unconsciously. Yeah.
Which a lot of elementals don't do, which is like good enough.
Seems like that's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's a good sign. She might actually be able to survive this.
But he was like, it's not over yet. Like, this is good, but she still could die.
But she still could die from it. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's good, but not. We're not on the weeds yet. It's we're still. Yeah.
I thought this moment was cool because it was a display of how Sazed just has so much freaking knowledge that was like his healer role coming out right there. Yeah. And I always love healers in any game, movie, book, whatever. I thought that was really cool to see because he's like, oh, dude, that guy can fucking.
Because
he doesn't bullshit. He was like, go get this, go get that. We're gonna lay her down. We get like. We don't have time to bullshit. Like, Docs, Kelsier, you guys got to stop bitching. We got to save this girl right now. And got down to business, which I thought was really cool.
So I had a couple questions, by the way. What does a miscloak actually accomplish at this point in time? Because I really haven't gotten evidence of it providing any like defense or capability.
Didn't they mention that like when they brought her in too?
It never comes up. This is if there was ever a time a miscloak should have like come up and been like incredibly important, it would be like right now, and it just didn't really accomplish much.
From what I gather, it's just kind of the status symbol.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I was like, is it?
From what I gather,
it's just a status symbol. It's like, okay, well, you just don't
Raffo.
get. Oh no! Don't.
Is that a Raffo, Alan?
It's a Raffo. It's gonna be a Raffo, isn't it? Okay, I'm just gonna skip it. Then. Okay.
That's a great question, though. That's a really good question.
I feel like I'm not getting all the details
because it's like, why do they make such a big deal out of like her getting a mist cloak when all it's got is some tassels that flap in the wind?
Thank you. So
I'm with you.
That's yeah. So anyway, if it's Raffo, that's fine. I'm okay with Raffo.
Is it Raffo?
I'm gonna assume it's Raffo at this point in time because
Alan's like, oh, I don't know. I can't react to that.
Every time there's suspicious silence, I assume it's Raffo. All right. So
there's chats. There's
always chat. It's
wait. What is chat
play a
saying?
cleric and what games?
It outlines the mist, like that they're traveling through.
Okay.
It obscures your outline of the mist.
All right.
Okay. Obscures your outline. Yeah.
I'll leave that to that.
Yeah. So I mean, the official answer is the reason why they wear it. This is from Sanction's website, is because it obscures their figure, so they prevent them from being seen when they're in the mists.
Okay. So I'll accept that for now.
Interesting. I don't play D&D, Zool, but one of my good buddies, Todd, who might be watching, is or no, I'm sorry, JR, who might be watching.
Yeah.
JR, what's up if you're here?
Shout out to JR.
Shout out to JR. Yeah. So after stitching Vin back up, Ham takes Vin up to her room to recover, and basically is all I can do for now. Hopefully she'll make it through. They can only hope now. And Kelsier and Doxson noticed the book that was brought in, the leather book, because Vin was still clutching it.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's in it yet. It's just that it was written in a language called Kalinium or Kalini, the language of the Kalinium, and says it thinks that he can translate it in time.
But right now he's
sounds like an ancient language of some sort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Sage is like, I'm too tired to take care of that right now.
So a couple of things that are mentioned in this chapter as well, like metal mines are mentioned.
Oh,
for the first time.
Dude.
Okay.
I got that question sitting right here.
All right.
Explain this. They dropped that statement 2 times because first it was like healers have metal mines. And I was like, metal mines? And then Sage says something about I had to use my whole metal mind. I was like, y'all being really obscure about what the heck that means or the purpose or whatever. I'm like, I feel like there's some allomancy, something going on with this.
Okay.
No explanation. And I was like, very purposeful. I was like, there's a purpose to the fact that they are like being really like vague about this. But the fact that it came up twice, literally the term metal mines came up twice. So I knew the first time wasn't like trying to be like, like a simile or something like that. It's like, I had a mind like metal. I was like, no, it's metal mines. And then it comes up again, it says that I had to use my metal mind to get there. Because he's explaining why. He's like, oh, well, Vin wasn't there. I had to use my metal mind to get there to take care, to get her. And I was like, okay, you used it twice.
Is this getting into like combining metals?
Sure.
Raffo? Because I
can't answer any questions about what he's talking about now, but it's very interesting.
Sage is quickly becoming my favorite. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, same.
I was a Cubs fan. Sage is probably like one of the most powerful people in this freaking book, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
it's coming. I missed both times that it mentioned metal mines, apparently. But when you mentioned that, I was like, damn.
Oh, it's a Raffo statement. Come on, Zool.
Well, I'm thinking like there's all these like burning metals for different things. Can you burn all of them at once and just your brain just turns into that guy on the GIF that's like, oh,
yes.
I don't know. But maybe that takes a lot of skill, right?
Yeah, that meme joint. Yes.
Steve Poole, Tim and Eric.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just say wrap up for that. In due time. In due time, fellas. In due time.
I knew that. I know.
I just want a shirt. I want a tattoo. Metal Mind.
Oh, nice. Metal Mind. Yes.
Well,
Will, aka Metal Mind. Do it.
Always get the cool symbols.
Next week. See you next week.
I got this at Jordan Con. So it's a keychain that has on
cool.
your side Mistborn symbols. So
nice.
Yeah, I think that's 10, I think, and that's gold. But
see, I don't get that luxury because I listen to the audiobook. So I don't get a chance to look at stuff because
look at the
if I go on the websites,
you
know what I'll do? I will deep dive. I will spoil everything.
So because
don't give me the opportunity.
Because in the book you get the nice little guide with all the different metals and what they do.
Oh, that's a cool graphic.
Yeah, okay. It has all the symbols on top. And then underneath it has a description of the different metals and what they do, whether they push or pull. And
nice, because I wrote that from reading the, listening to the book.
If you have the book,
I wrote
it out. Has
that. Well, unfortunately, I had to write it out in my scribbled, chicken scratch. But it exists, and I was like, oh, copper does this, and tin does that, pewter does that, bronze does blah.
I'll be completely honest. I haven't been looking at the chart at all because I'm trying to learn it myself. I guess.
Yeah,
I should probably look at that more.
Yeah, it's now that I wouldn't have recommended you go in there in the beginning, but now that we've learned all 8 metals, there's nothing spoilery in there. It's the Ars.
So
Arcanum.
Now that you brought that up, what I'm going to see. What I'm going to do now,
just go buy the book.
I'm going to go to half price books and go pick up a copy of freaking just get that just so I can look at that.
Yeah, there's a couple of pages of descriptions of the different metals, and there's nothing spoilery in there. It's just about what they do.
Yeah, for me, it's about as important as when I read, Song of Ice and Fire, and I was like, oh, well, I need to know how is Westeros made up?
Yeah.
When they talk about going across the narrow sea and blah blah blah, it's the same thing with this. These metals are so critically important. It would be nice to just have that, but I have it written down. But
yeah, you get in the books, you get maps too. So yeah,
okay.
I've looked at the maps.
Yeah,
maps are cool.
So far, the landscape hasn't been a struggle for me to figure out. It's just
they're really just in Luthadel and in the one city that's right next to Luthadel.
Right.
So it's not like they're that far.
They've mentioned a few mountains and then the pits of Hathson, I feel like, right?
Right. They mentioned a few mountains and the pits, but you gotta remember, I guess the entire geographical area that all this is taking place in is not that large.
Right.
It's not
the
the
whole context of things.
Yeah.
You haven't
not the entire world.
You haven't discovered 5% of the map.
Right.
2% of the map,
probably.
Because we're talking
the world map. Well, you got to think about it. So it's written. All right. So I'll put this in perspective. This is written if you want to compare it to an age in Earth. So it's pre-gunpowder, pre-industrial, revolution, things like that. Anyone that was living even in the Renaissance or Middle Ages, the amount of the world that you knew of is very small.
Right.
Yeah, it's like Europe.
Your kingdom and your surrounding countries, and that's it.
Yeah, you take over Europe and you think I rule the world, and it's there's a lot more of the world than you know. These people are like, oh, I rule the world. It's the Roman Empire was big. No question, but it really didn't rule the world.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Roman Empire overlaid over the United States? It's the exact same size, except that even the Mediterranean fits in there. So it's actually the entire Roman Empire fits between California and the East Coast. It's
the only thing I've seen was when I was in Rome, and I can't remember where it was, but they actually had the whole thing about the expansion of the Roman Empire in different phases, and it showed how much of Europe and all the areas surrounding Europe, Africa, Asia that they spread into.
Oh, sure.
I was yeah, that was pretty big, but also Alexander the Great also had a very big,
I think the biggest empire would have been Genghis Khan, the Mongols.
The Kong dynasty, easily. It's not even a question.
Because it's all of Asia and into Europe.
All of Asia.
Into Europe. So it's pretty large. I mean, as far as time zones go, the British or the French empires definitely, but that didn't. But land wise, no.
Yeah.
Anyways, Yeah, so
but
that's
enough philosophy.
That philosophy. That's how we end this chapter. Is just with
I'm not going to
talking
sleep
about this
tonight.
book.
And not only in the chapter, but in the part. It says
In
end of part 2.
End of part 2. Yeah.
Yeah, because the audio thing came. I was like, that is the end of part 2.
Yeah.
I was like,
so
okay.
yeah. So next time we'll be doing starting part 3. We're not gonna do the whole part. Sorry, guys. But I think we're gonna do 3 chapters again. No,
Okay.
we're just doing 2. Sorry.
Okay. 2
Just
chapters. Got it.
Just 2. And part 3 is called "Children of a Bleeding Sun." Children of a
Oh, the
Bleeding
other
Sun.
comment I remember writing down as I was reading these chapters is, and this only became prevalent to me because of what we've dealt with this past few weeks with the Canadian fires, wildfires, and how much it's impacted our atmosphere here.
Mm-hmm.
And it occurred to me, I was like, holy cow, this whole time, mists and ashes and all that stuff.
Oh shit.
That's what they've been dealing with.
It's funny you say that because someone on Twitter had written something about there's a Wheel of Time reference, and they're like, so is this Mashadar or the different things in Wheel of Time that are smoke or whatever?
Yeah,
that is this Wheel of Time. And I said in Michael Kramer's voice, I said, Part 1, the Final Empire. Ash fell from the sky.
Yes. So this past week, all I've been thinking about when I'm looking out my window and I'm seeing all this. I mean, I biked to the gym. I think it was a Tuesday or whatever day. It was so much ash and whatever you want to call it, haziness. I was coughing.
Oh yeah, my eyes were
my nose is messed up. Yeah.
So but I was thinking about that the whole time I'm reading these chapters. I'm listening to these chapters. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is what they deal with all the time.
Our Canadians are saying sorry about that. You don't apologize.
It's okay.
Look, it is not.
We hope you guys are all right.
Yeah. Seriously,
you don't control the wind, man. It's okay.
Also, a lot of these fires got started. I mean, they were started from just environmental conditions,
lightning strikes and stuff.
Yeah, but we're all responsible. I mean, not being political. This is just the way it is. Climate change is it's impacted things. It's a lot easier for fires to get started right now. So
and this is the biggest wildfire since 1960s, right? That's a big fucking deal.
Good point, Zul. Yeah, the good thing is we all do have N95 masks now. So
I never got them.
Funny enough, I don't know if anybody has heard about this whole Dyson thing. This has become so prevalent now. Dyson made these headphones with the air purifier thing, and when it came out, everyone was like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of." Headphones with an air purifier at the front. And then these wildfires have created this terrible air quality outside, and now New Yorkers are walking around with them
gotcha,
got him,
got him. It's all planned. It's all part of the plan.
Hey,
so favorite characters from these chapters before we.
Sazed. Yeah.
Sazed.
I mean, I'm still Club's fan.
Yeah.
But Sazed, dude.
Yeah. It's Sazed still for me.
All I think about is the meme that, the dude is he's going, he's pointing. That's Sazed right now. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, you playing checkers, I'm playing chess.
Yeah.
Because he's really tall, right? He's a tall dude.
The Terracemen are really tall in general, yeah.
I'm picturing Lurch from the Addams Family, but
nice.
smart.
See, I can't unsee that now. Thank you, Will. I appreciate that. I will never unsee Sazed as Lurch.
Well, I had an uncle who's 6'7", very smart dude, very awesome guy.
Yeah.
Not quite Sazed level, but I guess I'm bringing him back through that. So yeah, just this, tall, lanky guy who's just really freaking smart.
Yeah.
And where's a ton of jewelry?
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah, Sazed though, he's
least favorite character, Kelsier ?
Least favorite?
Least favorite.
Again, he's just so
Alonda, what do
cavalier.
clubs do these chapters? He has a shop.
Wait. Club's got the apprentices.
He's got his apprentices.
He's got
the page boys.
His apprentices make moves for him. Yeah, I'm still a Clubs fan. It's my thing. He's an older dude. You know, he's like, hey, he's like,
When I read, I was like, okay, I can see where Alonda likes Clubs on this chapter because he's got his little peons there in case he needs them. Who's least favorite though?
Yeah, least favorite's a good call. A good question.
Inquisitor number 2.
I was gonna say Steel Inquisitor. Whoever
impaled guardsman number 2 that got taken care of.
Whoever was wielding the obsidian axe.
Yeah,
I got nobody on the least favorite right now. I'm mad at how cavalier Kelsier is. I still continue to be upset about that. I'm like, if he really didn't want Vin to follow him, he should have burned Copper the whole time. I feel like he's just leaving himself open, and he knows better. And I feel like he's like setting her up to be in these like terrible situations right now. Yeah, she's adapting well. Great for her. But I'm like, you are the worst mentor ever. Go watch the Karate Kid, please. Be the Mr. Miyagi, please, and just do the right thing. Set her up for success.
I have a least favorite. My least favorite is the Mist Cloak.
Is the Mist Cloak?
Because they didn't do shit.
Just gets in the way.
Take that shit off.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Or one of those bronze ingots that they use to bounce to whatever, one of them I think didn't do as well. So that one.
That one. Yeah.
Mist Cloak. I'm a fan of that. Good
Zul's
call.
comment. Alonda, we don't want to know your favorite character overall. You always choose clubs.
Which one for these chapters?
Look, if I was a knight, they would call me Alonda the Consistent.
Yes, but by the way, Steel Inquisitor number 2 is the same Inquisitor from chapter 2. Yeah, that's
no.
Well, one of them was. Yes,
well,
one of them was.
One of them was because he recognized.
Oh
yeah. It's definitely because he mentioned it in the chapter. So
that's right. Yeah. Good point.
Oh my gosh,
fun times. So I mean, obviously, like the Steel Inquisitors are pretty much all Mistborns too, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they can obviously use ATM.
They can use ATM and they could use steel pushes because they were doing the coins. So they use, if they use 2, they can use them all if they're Allomancers.
Well, so I feel like you might have been ruining something there because I just assumed that ATM might have been a metal that everyone can use regardless of whether or not you're just a Mistborn or a Mistang.
Oh.
Are you saying that ATM is something because I mean ATM seems to be something that is like on a different level than the other metals. Like it seems like when you of course there's pairings of metals, right? I consider it a push pull or yin yang kind of thing, and I just felt like again I don't have the luxury of having that chart that you guys have,
right? I
felt like ATM is like a metal that supersedes all of that allegiance of I can only use these pairings of metals. So that's the reason I didn't treat them
as a Mistang that only burns ATM. Because aren't Mistings they can only burn 1, right?
Well, they can burn 2, right?
No, only 1.
I thot they could burn like the pair.
No, they can only burn 1. That's how you figured out that Vin was because you had it burn the other way. Yeah. You can only do one way.
Maybe Inquisitors are Mistings that can only burn ATM.
Got it. I just assumed every Misting could burn ATM regardless of.
Okay.
Maybe. That was my assumption.
Maybe. I'm also curious why Inquisitors can take a fucking dagger to the neck, though.
Yeah.
Well, they can also take a steel spike to the eye. So
2 of them. 1 in each eye.
There's that too.
What the hell are they burning?
Yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot of questions out there. So
the Inquisitors.
Yeah, but the glass joint to the neck, and then just like shrugged it
They're
off.
Yeah, just pulled it out.
creatures. They're creatures, and
Yeah, and they're
there's some
creatures.
kind of freaking creature that I don't ever want to run into in my lifetime.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Agree. Yep.
Iron Eyes. Yeah, cool. Well, how we can be found is at the Cosmere Reads on Twitter. Also, you can join our Discord. You can find that. I guess I could. I do send. I share the link. I'll put it. I'll put it in the Twitter profile, and I'll put it in the description of this episode too. So I'll add that. But yeah, there's or someone can add it real fast to the chat. But yeah, we have Discord channel. It's the Will Reads Discord. We have a section there as well for the Cosmere Reads. Both Alando and Will are on there, so you can at them and ask them questions as well on the Discord. So or you can email me at thecosmereads@gmail.com and I can forward any of your questions in that way if you want me to screen them first. If you're like, I don't know if this is spoiler or not, I always side on that side. But yeah.
Also, I'm normally on Discord, by the way, because I'm playing Diablo when I'm not working all the time.
Oh, nice. That's
I'm in a
right.
different Discord, so if you hit me up, I'll respond.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'll be honest, I'm not on Discord as much, but I'm trying to get better about it. So
At
hopefully,
me, and I'll text Alando.
Yeah.
yes, that always works. Always works.
See, my problem is I have it on my phone. I don't have the Discord app on my phone, so my phone dings
Oh, see.
nonstop.
I would be so addicted if I had it on my phone. I would not put my phone down. I was like, yeah.
Well, the problem is how many Discord servers I'm in at this point is just it's utterly insane. Because of all the different Wheel of Time and now Cosmere Discord servers, there's a ton of them out there, and I join them all for marketing purposes and because it's interesting.
Sure.
But I try to mute most of them, so most of them I don't get updates, including my own server. In case you didn't know that, unless you at me, I don't see it
because just at me and I'll text
because I mute everything.
So Will is our official point of communication.
I'll be the guy.
Reach out to Will. He'll reach out to the people.
I'm always on my computer.
Yeah.
So.
If you don't use the mute, that's one thing. If you ever join Discord, that's my one piece of advice in joining Discord is learn how to mute channels and servers. Customize your notifications. Yeah, because otherwise
notifications is your friend.
Otherwise, if you download the app on your phone and you do not customize your notifications, your phone will be buzzing all day long, like every 5 seconds.
Yes.
Like literally every 5 seconds, because there's so many different channels and being a lot of servers, literally it's just constant.
Yeah.
So I think it just in doing this, I cleared it out beforehand. How many Discord notifications do I have? I have some right now. So and I have most stuff
1 billion.
Yeah. So anyway, fun times. So go find us there. Feel free to share this with all your friends. Tell all your friends about it. All far and wide. We love the growth that we've been getting. We'd like to grow more and continue making this podcast because it's been a ton of fun so far, and can't wait to get further into it. So we'll be back next week with on Father's Day for more. Unless you guys can't do Father's Day, but I can do Father's Day.
I'm in.
Absolutely. I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zero plans.
Cool. All right. Well, that's all I got for this week. So until next time, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Peace.